Hello, this is Julia Bell, and today we're going to talk about Microsoft Word and a few reminders. In eLearn, each week I put a reminder series out here of what you need to make sure and turn in this week and what's coming up and any kind of special notes. For instance, the one that I put in this previous week says the orientation items were due, how much they're worth, it reminded you of when those were due, pre-tests were still open, and not to forget to begin Microsoft Word on Wednesday of the week. Also reminded you if you haven't set up your IIT lab to do that. Again, these are just some reminders that are out there. I want to show you this. And again, I usually by Sunday night try and put out the reminder for the next week. Sometimes I get it out even early, anytime I can. Under course information, I'm going to look at content. All right, I'd emailed you last week to tell you I put an assignments item out here. Let me show that to you. The assignments item is a calendar that you can download and you can print off to use to remember when things are due. I'll talk about the calendar in my lab IT and reasons I don't like it, but again, here on Wednesday the 6th, you are to start Microsoft Word. If you haven't started that, you need to get busy because Word Chapter 1, 3 items are going to be due on Wednesday the 12th. And the Wednesday the 19th is Chapter 2. Wednesday the 26th is Chapter 3. A special note, I'm trying something new this year to try and work with everyone's schedules. The Word exam will open up. It opens up the 22nd of September and it's going to close on 9/28. So again, it opens 9/22, which is a week before, and then it closes on 9/28. So that gives you any day in that week that you can do that exam. However, please don't start the Word exam before you've done the Word homework. You'll find you do lots better if you've done the 3 chapters of work before you attempt it. So Chapter 3 is due here. If you get it done early, you can take the test early. But don't attempt the test before you've done the work. You're kind of hurting yourself there. We begin Microsoft Windows on 10/1. Windows 10 is due here on 10/5, and then the exam is due the next day or the next weekday, which is 10/8. So that exam will open here on 10/2 and be open all the way through here. One attempt at that exam, it is timed. Once you do that attempt, please don't say, oh, I went and took it early and I messed up. Don't take it early. If you're not ready and you haven't done the 4 pieces of work, don't take the exam. We start Excel here. I gave you a couple of extra days to turn in Chapter 1. The same thing with 2. Many students struggle with numbers, so I wanted to give you that. The exam is due here on 11/9, so it will open on 11/3. There again, don't attempt the Excel exam till you have done all the homework and you feel confident. There's PowerPoint due. Here is the Thanksgiving holidays. I think up here, I forgot to mention was, here's fall break. The college is open during that time, but there are no faculty on staff. We're taking a break too, and no students. And then here, Thanksgiving, the entire college is closed on those days, 21, 22, and 23 of November. PowerPoint exam is going to be due 12/7, but it will open on the day after Friday, so it's going to open that Saturday. Can I take it early? Sure, but make sure you've done all the work first. If you forget to take an exam, the only time you can do a makeup is on 12/10. So please, I'm giving you a week to take each exam. Again, each week I'm putting reminders, so make sure you read those, and those are going to be in eLearn. And I never close out the old ones, so you can go back and look at a previous, see what you might have missed. I've already clicked on my lab, so I've got this open. I want to look at, I've had some students ask me about the calendar. I hate this assignment calendar. It doesn't show everything. Putting exams on here is a nightmare. Red means it's already closed. This one is still open. Here's today. I recorded an entire video yesterday. It was perfect. My headphones messed up and no sound. Devastated, yes. If I click on this date, I can see that there's 3 items. Looks like that I have worked on some of these, and I'll go ahead and show you my scores because they're sad. And I turned them in early on purpose, demoing to my in-person class, you know, how sad you could do if you didn't do it all. This is chapter 2, chapter 3. The exam is here, but it doesn't show on the calendar, and it will never. So I would not recommend this to remind you of everything that's due. If you want to print out the calendar I showed you that I created a printable one in eLearn, or if you want to rely on my reminders, but this thing is not always accurate. The tests will never show. So don't be caught in that trap. I'm going to course materials. Give it a second. I'm in as a student right now. All right, we've done orientation, pre-test. I passed that. I'm going to work on Word. Please do not do the modules out of order. If you say, well, I finished PowerPoint, I think I'll do Word now. No. Word will be due. When it closes, it closes. And if you do them in a different order, then you've missed an opportunity to turn in homework for Chapter 1 and 2 of Word. So don't do that. I clicked on Chapter 1 Word. This is just a list of objectives, things you would learn from this. You don't have to look at that. You're not required. Here are the videos that go with this. These talk about the objectives of the chapter. There's 8 main objectives, sets of things they want you to learn, and these videos line up with that. I'll play it, but you won't hear it because it plays on my system, so it does have sound. Okay, it starts through, it talks about the lecture, activity 101.
And a new blank document, click blank document. With the insertion point positioned at the top of your new blank.
And it plays. And you can also turn on closed captioning, or you're supposed to be. I think when they updated this product that they messed up closed captioning. All right, I'm going to close this out. Graded assignments. Where do my grades come from? These things. Here are the 1, 2, 3 items. See, my sample student did not do well. Just because it says completed doesn't mean a 48 is good. A 48 is bad. I'm going to click on the first one. And okay, it says I have unlimited times to submit this. However, once it closes, submissions are done. I clicked on download the materials, and I'm going to just get everything. I'm going to save it. All right, it's done because it turned green. I can close this. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Reason, if you leave it open, and let's say it's 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, any extended length of time, and you leave this open, and you start to choose the file, and you think you've done it, and it looks good, and you go to submit, and it doesn't submit. You don't get the 2 green boxes that I'll demo, then it didn't submit. The reason being is you left this open too long and it timed out. If you go ahead and close that now, that can't happen to you because you're not tempted. All right, I downloaded the files. Let's go look at those. My downloads, and here is that. It's got the zipper on it, so I must unzip it. Now you know why we show you how to zip and unzip, okay, in the orientation. Right-click on it. I'm going to extract all. That looks fine. There it is. All right, go between here, click, and just drag that over so I can read all the words. Okay, here's the instruction document. You've also got the starting document. You've got a picture of a bird to insert and some more text. Let's look at instructions. I've got multiple monitors, so mine's opening on another monitor, and I will just drag it to where you can see that. Enable editing. This says this is grader 1A. All right, instructions for this project. open the file, which was in that downloads folder. Then in your textbook, turn to Project 1A and complete the activities 101 to 116. I can do that. All right, here it says this is incorrect. Incorrect. That's not correct. Don't change the file name. Don't. The file name alone. Don't change it. And this just simply says, go look at the directions and complete the file and send it. I'm not going to save that directions. Here is the starting file. Mine says student because that's my generic account name. Yours will say your last name and your first name. Don't change that file name. You won't be able to submit it if you do. Don't change it. And if you're saying, well, there's nothing there. Oh, yes, there is. There is an embedded code that identifies this to you. It's a security code. It helps me to find people who try to cheat and submit other people's work. I don't have a student called Mary, and I don't have one called Fred, but if Mary and Fred both turn in the exact same work, one of them did it, one of them shared it, they both get a 0. There's like no question. I'm going to minimize that, minimize this. Now, what we need is the book. If you bought the paper textbook, bless you. If you're only going to use the e-textbook, I recommend that you get the paper book. Either you borrow it from a friend who had the class last semester, or you buy the paper book bundle at Walter State's bookstore that has the My IT Lab and the paper book, because you've got to have the My IT Lab, and I highly recommend the paper book. Over the summer, Pearson redid the ebook, and it's awful. This is what the ebook looks like now. Someone in their infinite design scheme decided to make it work and scale better on a tablet. Not every student has a tablet. It doesn't scale well on a PC now. Now you have to go to the bottom to this thing to navigate. You can't go up here and search for page numbers. We lost all those great functions. And that thing, I'm not even sure what that does, other than it takes me back there, which is just another dreadful feature. Buy the paper book. Let me show you the difference. I brought up a picture. There you go. This is a picture of what that page in the paper book looks like. Yeah, very different. The ebook, until a few days before the semester started, looked identical. Only these links in the ebook you could click. And the page numbers were at the bottom of each one. It was much nicer than what we're dealing with right now. But I would tell you to don't get the ebook. You want that paper book. See, this one has a picture of what it's supposed to look like when you're finished. It talks about what files you'll need, what you'll need to turn in. Here's the book now. It's got this information. It's laid out differently. Here's a video that's embedded. Before, you just had a link. I don't like this. It just keeps scrolling. And then here's the picture of what it looks like. And then here's this. This was on the second page. Now they've got it on one long page. Let me go to the next page. All right, this is what where you start doing the work looks like. There's a video you can play. And the highlighting in here is when I work through things, and I've worked through it with my day class. And we highlight as we go. For instance, if you want to highlight as you go, you can just simply click. Well, you could until today. And it brings up a color. And you can write yourself a note, or I just highlight so I can tell how far in the assignment that I have got. All right. It says create a blank document. That's not at all true. Also, let me see. Here's some of the changes you can make to the ebook. It used to be you could easily make a note other than clicking on highlighting. You could actually insert a note here. That feature is gone. I missed that feature. So, okay. Don't do this. Do not change the file name. Do not change the file name. Leave the file name alone that you downloaded. Okay, now it says to go to that file and type internships available. I will go and do that. After that, it says to press enter 2 times. Do it slowly, that way you can make sure what you've done. 1, 2. All right, I'm going to turn on the show hide right here so that I can see those are entered. If you're using a keyboard, you would use the control, keep the control held down, and then press the asterisk. The asterisk, of course, is the other side of the number 8 key. So a control and an asterisk is the keyboard functions that will show the show hide. All these do, those are enters. Backwards P with a double line on the right of the P. That's all it does, is show you how the document was created. Some people don't ever turn that on and get along just fine, but I just wanted to show it to you and tell you how that works. All right, I pressed the 2 enters. Now I need to type this. The old ebook also had bold what you were to type. This one doesn't. Here's an example of the textbook in print. Notice that previous page that was on this is the second page, 153. That now was on the previous big long page in ebook. Notice the dark bold text. You lose that with the ebook, which I think is just not a good thing. This is a picture of my textbook. Again, I highlighted it, but you're going to sometimes find the text that you need to enter hard to find in this new book. My apologies. I'm not happy about it either. Okay, this summer Sturgeon Point Productions. Let me go back and get that. All right. Sturgeon Point Productions will be filming a short documentary. Okay, there was a comma. Spelled productions wrong. Right click and change that. Spelled that wrong. Red underline means you spelled something wrong. You can right click on the word and fix it right away, or you can wait until you finish the document and check everything. Blue wavy lines indicates a grammar issue. We'll be filming a short documentary in Costa Rica. We'll be filming okay, memory's not so good. Costa Rica. But it's native birds, okay. It has production, no, positions, okay. If you noticed I typed 4 incorrectly, there are some words that are built in that it will auto-correct, like OT for instead of to, TEH. That's a common misspelling of the instead of spelling it THE. Okay, I did a period and 1 space. Top the insertion point. Okay, press the space bar, which I did. Take a look at it and see what you think. Here it talks about the difference between space and tab. Here it talks about the bar at the top. Okay, here is the area that has to do with fonts. Color of font. Here is bold, italic, underline. Here's the style of font you're using. Font are the letters. Here is the size. It's currently an 11. Maybe you want to make it a much bigger font. So a lot of great choices to make. Okay, so now I go to the next page. Again, I highly recommend get the paper book with this. All right, now it's saying On the ribbon, go to the Insert, Text Group, Object Arrow, Text from a File, and you're going to want to get Word 1A text. Again, I added that highlighting. That wasn't there. Insert. Here is the text group. Object, use the down arrow. That gives you more choices. Text from a file. In this case, we have to go look in Downloads where I had that open. Here is my folder. I need the text file. You'll notice mine was not zipped. Let me go backwards and show you again. See, no zipper. Okay, great. I've got 2 spaces in there. That's what has the blue underline. Those 2 dots told me I did. All right, now I had typed through interns. It added all the rest of this text for me. So it should look like this, and I do. At this point, they're asking me to save the file. You could click on the save icon. You could also do Control S. You could also do Alt File S. Any of those things work, or Alt FS. So all those items work. So again, don't change the file name. At the bottom, go to the next page. Again, this book is, I'm not happy. Including the mark, they want you to select this text. Internships available all the way to the paragraph mark. If you go up here in front of it and you either highlight across or you triple click, either way will select that text. So I need to do that. I'm going back to my book. What I want to do next is Home tab, Font Group, Text Effects and Typography. And from that I want to pick in the gallery, the 3rd row down, and it's called Black Text 1 Outline Background 1 Hard Shadow. Got it. The Home tab at the top. Here is the typography. Typography does not list a keyboard shortcut. Thank you, Microsoft. You should do that. Okay. This is the one I want. 3rd one down on the left-hand side. Click that. Doesn't look too special yet, but it will. We're going to make it larger. We're going to change the color. All right, so we did that. Now it says to make it 52. So at the top where it talks about the font group, you can go here and make it a 52. Type in 52. You could also do Control, Shift, and a greater than, and pump it up till you get to the size you want. The problem with that is 52 is not in that sizing. You'd have to know how to type the number. Now I'm going to center it. Here is center, or Control E will center the selected text. Now, I want to change the color. We're going to make it the orange accent 2 font color. All right, under the font color, it's on the top here, orange accent 2. Microsoft doesn't make that easier to find either if you need to use keyboard shortcuts. Now we're going to add the typography and we're going to do a shadow. It's an outer. 2nd row, 3rd style. If you don't have it still highlighted in gray like this, then you need to triple click again and select everything once more. Down arrow, shadow, here, offset left. That means the shadow is going to appear to your left. Let me unclick it. Notice it kind of this shadow looking on the left of each and every letter. All right, go to the next page. And you continue on as you're working through this stuff. And again, the highlights in this book are just in my book because those are my highlights. If you want to highlight something, you just highlight the text, wait till the colors come up on the right, and just pick one of those colors that you like. And I just do that so I can tell where I have been in this ebook. So I'm going to say that I've gotten as far as I want. I'm going to close the ebook at the top. And I'm going to go back here and let's make sure and save the document. I'm going to close the document and I'm sure I've got it. And let's go and submit it and see what happens to me. My score will be bad, I'll just tell you. Start. Remember we were here earlier. Here we downloaded, we've done that already. We've been doing this part, working on this assignment. We need to go here under number 3 step and upload. Let's go choose file, downloads, whoops, there it is. The file I need is the first one. All right, it moved here, that is good. You're not done. Click on upload. Green is good. You need that where it says success. And it gives the name of your document, student underscore go 16 underscore WD for Word underscore CH01 for chapter 1 underscore grader underscore 1A underscore HW for homework .docx. So that's the file it's chosen to attach and upload. I'm not done. You have to go to step 4 and submit. Give it a second. Another green, kudos, your file has been submitted for grading, and you can choose close the assignment. It just blinked and updated. Notice to the right of the assignment are these 3 dots, and when you hover over it, it says context menu, context. So if you click on that, go to view submissions. This is the one I just submitted. So let's look at it. I can click on the bottom one, my just submitted. Not sure I clicked on the right one. Okay. Back here, view submissions. I want the last one. Okay. I got a whole lot of red. Red is not good. All right. Complete activity except use the downloaded blank document instead of creating a new one. So I've got something it's not liking. Ah, I've got a spelling issue. It won't tell me what, but it tells me to look in those words. So I've got to go back and compare punctuation. I've got to compare capitalization and spelling and make sure all the words are there. So I've got an issue with what I typed in. Okay, that's on me. That's perfect. That's perfect. Why is that red? Oh yeah, I didn't insert the picture of the bird. So, oh, there's a whole bunch of red. That's telling me that I didn't finish the document. If you submitted the document at home and you get to school and you need it, you can always get it back. If you brought it on a USB drive, good for you. If you mailed it to yourself, good for you. If you didn't, but yet you submitted it, because your submissions are not limited, unlimited amount of time. So you can say download my submitted file if you get to school and you've just turned it in from home, and you can open that exact document. However, since it's an attempt file, you better not try and save it there. Enable editing. You're going to want to do File, Save As, and put it somewhere. Because if you save it in a temp directory, when you close it, it's gone. So don't do that. Let me close all that. All right. But anyway, you can get those. A live comments report. Let me open one of those. It's a different way of looking at the errors. I'm going to enable editing. You can't change stuff on this sheet and turn it in because it's not your original document. The page here gives me all my errors. Well, that's not good. Here is a snapshot of my original document. And over here it comes and tells what I have done wrong. So you may go back and look and see if this is real helpful. Some students like one form or another of the error report. Maybe you like a live one. Maybe you don't. Okay, so that's how you can go and look if you've sent one in. The grading appears here pretty quick. It tells how many times I have submitted it. I can also click on that 3 and see the 3. I'm going to tell it, no, I don't want to open that. All right. So again, you can revise those and turn them in up to the due date, which the due date on this one is going to be the 12th at 11:59 on these 3 assignments, 1A, B, and G as in George. So don't forget that. One other thing I forgot. I'm going to show you G because G is a little different. I'll download the materials, download everything. Great. Let's save it. Don't open it. Don't forget to close this because you don't really need it open while you're working on it. All right, back to downloads. There it is. Double click on it. I want to look at the instructions for this one. You've got a few more things. There's a video with it. There's a picture and a starting file. Let's open this. Enable editing. The instructions on this are a little more comprehensive than the previous one. Download and open the file, which it's in that folder. Now it says begin. Type the things in blue, make the changes. Keep in mind that each one of these little boxes, these steps, will most of the time include more than one action that you must take. For instance, type educational websites, press enter. When I get that part done, I will come back and use a yellow highlighter or the color of your choice. That way I know, see, there's the first part. Here's the next. The next one, if you wanted to use different colors, that's possible. You type in those blue words, and after the period, press the space bar. See, there's another instruction. Now you go and insert text. There is a fourth instruction. All this happening inside step number 2. So read carefully. Don't just assume the first line tells you everything, because it does not. After I get those done, then I'm going to drop down here and do those things all the way through step number 20, where I save it and I send it back for grading. I'm not going to change my settings there. But I wanted you to see that G is a little different in its instructions. This has been Julia Bell. Have a great rest of your weekend, and it's time to be really working hard on Microsoft Word and get those turned in.